And agility's on the Genji.
Yeah, that's right.
A lot of flexibility.
This payload is bumping, Monte Cristo.
It absolutely is. It always is. So Dreamcast, we're going to be starting out on the Widowmaker, looking for those initial picks. Not showing it all yet, just trying to figure out where the enemy team is. Defense is pretty far back, actually, for Immortals.
Yeah, Immortals playing this one up pretty safe. Agility's on the outside, but yeah, they're really letting the payload get through the car wash. They want to fight in this hangar. That's where we see a lot of teams kind of shore up their defenses. It does give a lot of pushing power, though, to the offense once in a while. We'll see how it works out. Verbal going down early, Beast Halo rather, just stomping him flat, but an answering kill. So as the payload moves in here, we'll see how the defense goes for Immortals.
Yeah, well, we saw Dreamcast really get chased out into the hallways by Agilities while the rest of his team was engaging. Yeah. And with the Soldier Grim Reality on the high ground, really quite easy for them just to pick off people. No pressure up there so far. I think Casper's going to have to switch off of this Widowmaker. There's too much that they could really do with this right now. They've got the Winston and the Genji and the Diva to get in his face.
Yep, well, Nano Boost used already on the Immortal side. Going to give that to the Winston. We'll see what he can get. Just kind of trying to keep the payload from moving, but he jumps up. Dreamcast still looking for those shots on the Widowmaker, and everybody kind of exiting the high ground for Immortals, actually, which is going to make it maybe a little bit tougher to defend here. Yeah, usually you see the Soldier and the Ana stick up there.
It's one of those times where I think we do see a bit of an issue with the communication. The Nano Boost going down and not really getting much done for the Winston.
Well, in the end, Fate does pick up the kills that Immortals need, and they do manage to chase Tempo Storm away. So a bit of a shaky defense initially, but if on the flip side, you look at Tempo Storm, and there's not really a ton of kills coming in for Dream, what in the world's going on? Dream Casper, and he has switched over that Soldier 76 now, so yeah, I think no more Widowmaker. You got to make that change.
Yeah, you have to make that adjustment at this point in time. I actually think he should have done it immediately after seeing the team composition of Immortals, and he wasn't finding any shots because they were playing so far back. Pulse Bomb going to go down, not going to find anything.
That close call. Grim Reality trying to defend himself here. He's got that Tac Visor, gets a kill on Beast Halo, pops the Tac Visor as he gets knocked down, though, and doesn't really get a ton of use out of it. Tempo Storm exiting his field of view for the moment, and that is rough, man, to lose that ultimate like that. Ooh, that's tough. They do take down Kosi in the back, though, so Tempo Storm backing off again. Grim Reality does find a couple kills, so the defense holds for now.
And they're going to be in good shape to keep this defense going. Agility's with the Dragon Blade, and they have the Nano Boost to pair with it. Tempo Storm, they've got the Transcendence, but everybody's going to have to group up for that one, and they have been playing this more of spread triple DPS style. A lot of targets here for a Genji to go after.
Yeah, that's right. Tempo Storm trying to push the payload now again. They're going to send the Winston up there. There's the Dragon Blade Transcendence used right away to try to counteract that if they can. Hype pops a self-destruct. Is he going to find anybody? He does find JKW. So Tempo Storm without their Lucio for the moment. And they are losing team members left and right. And Immortals putting up a really solid defense so far. Tig taking a ninja nap up on the high ground, but he gets out.
Tig got the kill straight onto Agilities after the Dragon Blade had already been pulled, but a nice sleep dart actually keeps him out of the rest of that engagement. Yeah. And even though the ult economy has been rather weak for both of these teams so far, it hasn't mattered because Immortals keeps getting the picks on the DPS players of Tempo Storm, and this is stalling out really fast for Tempo.
20 seconds. Tempo Storm has a couple ultimates they can use, and they really need to put that sound barrier and Primal Rage to good use. Dreamcast on the low ground. Oh, he's got the Tac Visor now as well. They're going to pop the sound barrier. Immortals coming in. Sound barriers on both sides, in fact. Casper with the ultimate, looking for kills. Finds one onto Fate, looking for a little bit more. This might be their moment. The payload still contested, but Tempo Storm finally putting together the kills they need to maybe push this rest away. But at the same time, defense for Immortals, can the Dragon Blade make a difference? Tig gets two. Looks like that is going to do it. And last minute push, but Tempo Storm manages to take point A. That was close, though.
It was. Tig got the Dragon Blade at exactly the right time, because we didn't see the Tac Visor doing a lot of damage. The Winston bubble in the doorway to server, as well as the Diva being in the server room with him, mitigated a lot of the damage, but one ultimate pushing them over the top as they go into hangar.
Right. Going to get a little bit of distance on the payload. Immortals taking some time to set up their defense. In reality, has his ult available if he wants to use it. Fate went down, though. They lost to Winston early on, and It's going to make it really tough for Immortals to contest the payload. You can see they're just falling so far back in hangar phase. Tempo Storm may basically get this one for free.
Well, they're going to have to try and fight here right at the last point. They have the ult to do it, and they have a lot of stall time with the Primal Rage just to knock people around off the card.
Now Tempo Storm with an early Transcendence just to try to keep everybody up. There's a Nano Boost. Now onto Fate on the Immortal side. Kariv does go down, so no Ana. Grim Reality getting a couple on that Soldier 76. It's a brawl, people going down on both sides, but Immortals seem to kind of be getting the better end of this for the moment. Yeah, as Too Easy gets taken out, that's going to be about it. So just a little over a minute remaining, and Tempo Storm with not a lot of ultimates. Beast Halo finally getting his up, but Immortals, again, just like kind of in point A, looking like a possible hold here.
Yeah, looking at Too Easy's perspective right now, just picking off the support members, but he's not able to keep it up throughout the whole fight. Yeah. Does end up getting hit down there by a nano boosted Winston. And I like the discipline we're seeing from Immortals. They're not charging the card. They knew that there's only a minute left, so wait for Fate, who had gone too far forward, to go ahead and respawn, and then use their ultimates, trying to play where they're the strongest.
Here we go. Dragon Blade coming out now for Tig. What's he gonna get with it? Oh, Agility's actually getting taken out. He had the Dragon Blade out instead, and Tempo Storm off to a good start in this fight. Got the man advantage now as the Primal Rage gets popped. Pulse Bomb taken up into the air. Hype managing to avoid his teammates into that. Popped the self-destruct afterwards, but not finding any kills. Tempo Storm, though, they have got everything they need to take point B. So another close call in the end, but they keep this payload going. Getting point B at the last minute. Ooh, and with that last second defense attempt by Immortals, this might be some extra pushing power that Tempo Storm ends up getting.
Casper really the hero right there for landing the Helix rocket and shutting down the Dragon Blade that could have really tipped the scales in Immortals' favor. Trying to regroup now, walking back towards that payload. They have been disciplined in their slow approaches and decisions to fight, but their actual engages have been a little bit staggered here so far.
That's right. Payload moving again. Immortals pops the sound barrier. They're going to get aggressive here. Coming in, Agility's over onto the Roadhog now, looking to get picks. He gets the kill on the Beast Halo already. Another Dragon Blade comes out. Ooh, Zenyatta charged out of the fight. Did he get the healing he needed to? Tig actually picking up the kills with those Dragon Blades, though. Nano Boost onto Grim Reality. Not finding any kills, though, but he does enough damage to let Hype sort of clean up. And Immortals will hold for now.
The Nano Visor did just enough to push them back. Hype trying to work his way up toward the Graviton now, but they've got to be very careful about that because, again, Verbo came in early with the sound barrier, and then that led to this situation here where they're getting cut down. And even though we actually see the charge go off, Tig not going to be taking any damage from it.
I mean, it almost charged the Zenyatta right on top of his allied Genji and kept him healed up. A little bit of a unfortunate circumstance there. Tempo Storm with the sound barrier. They've got a couple ults to work with here. Posey not getting a whole lot before he goes down, though. Tig takes down Agilities. That payload barely moving. Dreamkaiser up on the high ground, but he needs to duck back and grab that big health pack. Trying to get back to the payload now, and Tempo Storm, it seems like whenever they need to come up clutch, they have been doing that on their offensive push. They are getting it towards the end, but they're going to be doing it in overtime. Overtime, can they possibly stop this payload? It's so close anyway. One last ditch effort defense for Immortals. Tempo Storm looking to try to finish it. Dragon Blade comes out yet again for Tig. Seems like he has that every 5 seconds. Earthshatter comes in. Maybe that's going to be enough to turn it for Immortals, but no, they're losing too many people. And even with that Nano Boost onto Fate, it's just not enough. And Tempo Storm completes their offensive round in OT.
And credit to Tempo Storm coming through basically in overtime across all 3 points, delivering when it really mattered. They're going to end Gibraltar with 0 time left in the bank, but that last push, they had such a huge positional advantage. Immortals never could quite get their soldier onto the high ground. And right here, taking a look at this last Dragon Blade slashing through, really absolutely no pressure. See Kariv stuck in the back there, and with the Earth Shatter missing everybody but JKW, no ability to follow up on the crowd control.
Yeah, it was a hard-fought offensive round. Immortals came so close to holding, you know, basically at the end of every single point, but they seem to always find themselves in a situation where Tempo Storm had a bit of an ult advantage, and then Tig towards the end just finding a lot of kills with the Dragon Blade.
I think you can really see the communication issues with Immortals as well, because sometimes they'd be engaging with a tank, or Verbo would be trying to get that sound barrier so they could engage, but not everybody was always following up on the calls that we're going for, and it'd end up in sort of wasted ultimates or early picks for Immortals in several occasions, and Tempo Storm was on top of it when it came to target selection and their shot calling right afterwards.
Well, Fate especially, and one of the 2 new Korean players for Immortals seemed to find himself kind of on his own, and when you see that a lot, you kind of jump to communication issues for probably the most likely reason, especially given the situation that these guys have played together for, you know, what, slightly over 24 hours now, so it's a tough spot, but Immortals makes it competitive at least. Let's see what they can do with their offensive round. Tempo Storm, though, in a great position. Even though they did finish in overtime, they've got all 3 points, and it's tough to take that 3rd one on Gibraltar sometimes.
Yeah, it definitely is. And Tempo Storm with this composition is going to be trying to defend further up. They don't have any of the long-range hit scan to try and take advantage of the high ground back towards point A. And we see a very different defense here, more ground-based, and we'll see how soon they want to engage. Grieve moving over to the Zenyatta now. No Ana for Immortals.
Yeah. Ground base and aggressive for Tempo Storm on the defense. Agilities, meanwhile, on the attacking Genji. Just trying to build up that Dragon Blade a little bit. Team scatters, and ooh, Kariv got a little bit too far forward on the Zenyatta. That was a dangerous place to be, maybe looking for some targets on the high ground, but he paid for it. That said, Immortal's the one coming out ahead in this early fight. As Beast Halo goes down, that payload's going to move through Car Wash.
They invested a lot into killing Kariv on the Zenyatta and didn't get a lot in return for it. The rest of the members focused down very quickly, overcommitting towards the payload onto the Zen. That means Grim Reality and Agility's easily cleaning up that backline. They get a lot of nice time here on the card, and they start controlling the doors. Ooh, Tig comes through the door too early. Didn't expect them to be playing that far forward at the choke.
Wow, with no Tig to help on the defense, Tempo Storm in a bit of trouble. Dream Casper goes down as well. And this is a good start for Immortals to complete point A very quickly. Contested right now, of course. Too easy doing what he can, but Verbo gets a kill on the opposing Lucio in a bit of supportal combat. Tig back in the action now. Maybe he can make a difference. He's pretty close to that Dragon Blade, but not quite close enough. Kariv gets a bit of a revenge kill onto him with the Zenyatta. And it looks like that payload's going to get there. It's so close, 1 meter away, but there we go. And now Immortals actually coming into Hangar with quite a bit more time than Tempo Storm had available.
And in these trickle-in situations, that's when Zenyatta becomes so powerful with that Discord orb. You have a couple of people around the card, easy to designate your targets, just burst them down as fast as you can. And unless you can get that Zenyatta down early, they did get him eventually, but it was too late. Too many members of Immortals on the card. Now they're in a strong position coming into Hangar with basically 6 ultimates. Verbo about 8% away.
Yeah. A lot of ultimates for Immortals to use through this push too. They didn't need to actually do much to take point A. Dragon Blade comes out, Agilities finds a kill on Cozy right away. Meanwhile, we're on board with Fate as he helps take down Dream Kaiser. Now Agilities sitting on the payload. And Tempo Storm's defense, honestly, just looking very scattered right now. Again, you know, sort of jumping onto the cart one at a time, and like you said, with that Discord orb, when you're taking that much more damage and everybody's focusing you, you're gonna have a bad time.
Tempo didn't have any ults to work with at the start of that fight, though, so really just sort of an eco push for them, coming through, trying to build up something, but Immortals didn't overreact. They just used the Dragon Blade, playing conservative with their ult economy.
Right, here we go, Primal Rage, Transcendence. Holy, that is a big combo, hyped in Grim Reality, putting their explosions together to get 4 of Tempo Storm, and this defense is eliminated. Man, point B taken easily. So now 5 minutes into the final stretch here for Immortals. I was not expecting a push like this.
Well, I think Tempo thought they were going to be safe with the Transcendence. Unfortunately, that's a healing over time, and it doesn't actually affect burst that damage like the D.Va self-destruct. So when they committed to the cart, they didn't have anywhere left to go.
Well, I hope we get a replay of that, because I really want to know how Hyped managed to grab 3 with that self-destruct. That was... You don't see that happen very often. At least not to people who aren't named Mickey. Tempo Storm with the sound barrier, trying to come in for the defense now. used on the side of Immortals as well. Sound barrier out, and now finally a little bit of return pressure from Tempo Storm as they will force Immortals to fall back.
And that was a pretty huge commitment, though. We look at the sound barrier, the tac visor, and the Dragon Blade, all used by Tempo Storm.
Yeah.
Casper and Tig trying to take both flanks with their ultimates, and yes, they're successful, but there's just so much time for Immortals to work with right now that getting all of those ults out may be punished here in just a couple of minutes.
Sneaking in, he's got that pulse bomb ready to go. Defensive Matrix there, tries to dodge around it. Kari in a little bit of trouble, gets jumped on by the Winston as well. There's a stick, and he kills. Not quite, gets enough damage done to take down Beast Halo, though. Or rather, that was the other Tracer. Multiple Tracers.
Yeah, that's not really enough, though, for that kind of investment.
Yeah.
I mean, you can build up that pulse bomb very quickly, so it's not too big of a deal. But trading 1 for 1, I want to get a little bit more from that. They give him a chance to get some damage down and start charging up themselves.
Dragon Blade is out immediately. Dreamcaster goes down. Or Dreamcasper, rather, goes down. Immortals take another fight pretty easily here, it looks like. Yeah, and as Too Easy falls, that payload keeps moving.
And Beast Halo basically went in 1 versus 4. Agilities was all on his own up towards the front line, and this is looking really grim for Tempo Storm right now.
And not just the player grim. There's a Transcendence coming out again. Tempo Storm doing everything they can. Self-destruct. JKW going down, and Immortals right away pulling out ahead in this fight. Primal Rage for Beast Halo, just kind of knocking people away from the payload, but not knocking them out of the fight. And as he finally falls, this payload is gonna finish. Respawn's coming in, though. We'll see if they can maybe hold it. Sound barrier to try to secure this one, and that is going to be 3:45 left on the clock for Immortals. A crushing first offensive push for them.
I mean, Tempo Storm is going to have to bring it with an extended overtime push to win this game. With 2 minutes and 45 seconds behind on this payload map. And we'll see what they can do, starting on offense yet again. And take a look at Agilities here. Actually was covered very nicely by the Winston bubble on his engage, and then cutting through the supports easily. Beast Halo tried to engage onto the payload at the same time, but he was focused down basically 1v4.
You know, and it's funny, we were talking about the communication issues that Immortals seem to be having on their defensive stand in the first round, where in the second one, when Tempo Storm found themselves on defense, it seemed like you saw those kind of things in spades, right? You saw a lot of people streaming onto the payload 1v1. You saw a lot of kind of ill-timed engages. And so Tempo Storm, you know, they need to have a big push here. And because it's looking like defense is not going great.
Yeah, Immortals, though, a big credit to them in the hangar phase. They basically used just a couple of ults to nearly get all the way through before the big self-destruct came through at the very end. And that was some really good discipline with their ult economy. And take a look at Fate here. They are going to play further back again. So running with the same composition that we saw on their first defense, hoping for a little bit more success here. Agility's going to try and poke out and see what their composition is going to be. This time, Casper sticking to the Hanzo.
Interesting.
Now switching out.
Okay. I was going to say, yeah.
Sonic Arrow, he just stayed there for a little longer than I thought he would. So yeah, quick Sonic Arrow. Now he's going to change it up. I like the fact that he's not staying with the Widowmaker again. It was a problem when they were playing so far back on the first defense here.
I love this defensive setup, though, for Immortals. You're so stable back here. It really takes a lot of effort as the offense to attack the Soldier and Ana up on the high ground.
Oh, Zenyatta's there, too. I mean, the problem is if you try and dive them, then they'll have a Discord orb, and they'll have 3 people, possibly 5, if the D.Va and Winston get back there, too.
Now, Fate going really deep. He has to exit the fight early. Grim Reality does take down Too Easy. Tempo Storm with a couple kills. Immortals scrambling to hold this one. Fate able to delay the payload quite a bit, and nobody's really there to do a lot of damage to him. Yeah, exits as soon as Dreamcasper comes back into the picture here. Payload is moving, but we're into overtime already. And remember, you get no more time, even if you do take point A. Agility about halfway to his Dragon Blade right now. Grim Reality with the kill on Tig. That's going to be a problem for Tempo Storm as they come in. Verbo takes down JKW. And that's the nano boost onto Agilities, I believe. Dreamcasper taken out. And that is going to be it. The payload did not move too far. You know what's happening? I keep wanting to say Dream Kaiser. Because Kaiser is my Dream Reinhardt.
And Dreamcaster, because it was your favorite. It was your favorite console system.
That's true. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that was my favorite console. How did you know? You know me so well.
I do. So what I liked about that last one is it looked like it was a good one-for-one trade at the start, but the problem with Too Easy going down is that he was the one who was harassing the 3 members on the high ground from Immortals. And as soon as he was gone and that pressure was gone, it basically just opened up for the soldier from Immortals to shoot down over the entire payload, and they never had any more pressure on him, really. So that one-for-one trade is one you'll definitely take if you're Immortals and help them slow down that push by quite a bit.
Well, Immortals, not too far of a push needed for them to take Gibraltar. And we came into this one thinking, you know, based on communication, based on time, these teams have had to practice as a full roster. Tempo Storm coming in with the edge on paper. But Gibraltar so far looking pretty one-sided in favor of Immortals.
Yeah, and they have that huge time bank to work with. Does seem pretty unlikely that they will not be pushing at least to a victory here on this first map. It would be quite a big upset.
Yeah, it'd be a pretty epic hold if Tempo Storm could keep them from winning this one. They're going to try, though.
Okay, so we are going to be seeing the triple DPS from Tempo again. Likely, they are going to play further back and try and flank around with the Tracer.
Yep.
So will be different than what we saw on their first Gibraltar defense. Agility's dropping down right now, and actually they're playing more aggressively than I thought, but they don't have a lot of room to work with.
Whoa, Cozy going off the edge. Grim Reality gets 2 right away, and Immortals slaughtering Tempo Storm. That wasn't even close.
And that's probably it right there. Tempo Storm was trying to defend aggressively because they have so much time that they need to bleed off of this clock, but unfortunately, you lose the first big engagement like that. You give over so much ult charge to the enemy team, and that makes the second defense here closer to point A even more difficult.
Yeah. And Grim Reality was already up ahead on that Tracer, harassing on the high ground as they pull the payload in here. We'll see what they can get done. Looking for a little bit more. Sound barrier, or rather, attack visor has been used. Tempo Storm finally finding a bit of stability in their defense here.
Yeah, Tig actually picking up 3 really big kills right off the bat. So they buy themselves more time. Casper gets close to that attack visor, looking at 90% right now. And Immortals going to back off and regroup.
Looking pretty even up on ultimates. Tempo Storm maybe a little bit in the lead percentage-wise. They can certainly use it. Immortals coming in through the hallway now. Gonna go and dive on the high ground right away. We'll see if they can get anything out of it, though. Hype just trying to absorb as much as they can. There's Curry with the Transcendence, Agilities, and Hype picking up the early kills. And that payload is moving. Too Easy trying to delay it a little bit. That Tracer can be slippery, hard to take down, but eventually it goes. JKW not getting a whole lot done. And Cozy just trying to buy time for the respawns with that Transcendence. Nothing else really to do there. Too Easy in as well. Casper goes down very quickly, and Immortals, a little bit of a rough push there, but as Tig goes down to the self-destruct, that's going to be it. Immortals taking Gibraltar pretty easily.
That was such a good attack from Immortals on that point A. All of them coming up over the top and then down through the door on the left-hand side of the point. And that allowed them to dash up and kill Casper immediately. And considering he had the attack visor just come up, timing couldn't have been better. They took away the high ground.
It's like they're going to go for a bit of pharmacy on the Tempo Storm side of things.
And we do see Casper playing some of that Pharah in the earlier rounds today.
Yeah. And he did it quite well, too. That, you know, more than anything in the earlier rounds we saw, it was the Pharah play from Casper that I really enjoyed watching. Oh, you got to watch out for those concussive blasts, or just kill them with rockets. You don't need to knock them off the building. Good start for Tempo Storm. Really good start for Tempo Storm. They're going to claim this point in style.
Yeah, great dive in from Casper, seeing the 2 support players around the side of the building, getting the necessary damage down for his teammates to finish them off, and they take a very easy first point capture. Looks like we are going to see some switching here. Agilities will be moving over to the Tracer and Grim Reality onto the Soldier 76. So double hit scan.
Yeah, you're going to want to have the Soldier in there to try to at least put some pressure on the Pharah. You know, even if you can't kill her, you can kind of force her out of line of sight anyway. And Agilities, we'll see what he can get coming around the side, just building up that pulse bomb for the moment. Maybe looking for a kill here. We'll find out. Oh, getting killed instead, but Immortals are on the point. We'll see if they can flip it back. Not quite yet. Oh, Cozy really low. Gets the double res off in time. Grim Reality just couldn't finish him before he got in there, and that's going to help Tempo Storm hold the point for the moment. Kari posts up the self-destruct, and maybe they can come back in again on this one. JKW, he's got the sound barrier ready to use as soon as he gets there. Oh, does go down, though. Great rocket from Grim Reality. can see on our kill feed, they're not going to quite have that defensive ultimate that they thought they might in Tempo Storm. Fighting for their lives on the point right now. Dream Casper did get the knockoff on the Hype, though, somehow.
Beast Halo trying to get rid of these hit scan heroes off the side, but Fate on the point, coming back and actually picking up Cozy. He tried to get away.
He didn't get back in the mech. Verbo with the bloodthirsty support kill on the Tig. And Agilities, he's got the Pulse Bomb, may be able to use it, not quite yet. Holding on to it as Immortals trying to flip the point right now. They're so close, got about a quarter of the control meter built up right now. Agilities holding on to this Pulse Bomb for so long, but you gotta find the right moment. Too Easy goes down, and they may get to just save that. Looks like they will, but 82% built up for Tempo Storm already, but they don't really have any ultimates. It's going to take some time to build up that big sort of apocalyptic push to take it back.
Yeah, Casper has had a couple of quick barrage charges here. He's almost on his second one. First one coming up very soon into the start of the match due to the early damage he was able to get down, and we're going to see double sound barriers right away.
Yeah, self-destruct, not picking up anything for the Diva there. Grim Reality holding on to his ultimate as both the sound barriers run out. Immortals, or rather Tempo Storm, taking back the point. They've got over half the control meter built up, but Immortals, the one's getting all the kills. That's going to be the reset. Dream Casper going back to Dreamland for the moment, I suppose, and Immortals holding on to it. About 40% built up for them.
Yeah, trading the Lucio ultimates working in Immortals' favor at this stage because they don't invest too much else. And Grim Reality needs to hold on to that tack visor for exactly the right time to clear out the Mercy before the res can come through.
And Beast Halo coming across the bridge now. He's going to try to dive. Taking a lot of damage early on, though. There's the Transcendence, and Dream Kaiser has that barrage ready to go. May try to sneak onto the point here.
Huge Pulse Bomb.
There's a barrage. Gets absorbed by Diva a lot, but that Pulse Bomb, like you mentioned, from Too Easy, doing a ton of the work. The DPSs for Tempo Storm getting done exactly what they needed to get done, and they should be able to flip the point back here.
Yeah, they have flipped the point back, and they saved the res. That Pulse Bomb from Too Easy was absolutely huge because it took out the Soldier Grim Reality during the tactical visor and made it so there wasn't any chance of Immortals coming back in.
Here we go, one last chance for Immortals to try to get something done. Primal Rage, though, popped by Beast Halo. And Casper just guarding the bridge. JKW doing his share as well as he gets a knockoff onto Fate, and Tempo Storm. Looks like they're gonna claim a pretty decisive victory here on Garden. Unless this ends up being huge. Nope, not the biggest self-destruct for Hyped ever. And Immortals will be fighting a losing battle here as they try to flip the point back. Tempo Storm just dealing with Hyped. Has it bought enough time for some respawns? Looks like it has. Still, Immortals coming in with much less than their full strength, so Tempo Storm able to keep cleaning those up. They've got ults to spare, and eventually you'd expect them to take this point. Immortals holding on to it for quite a while, but there we go. Finally, Tempo Storm goes up 1 point here on Lijiang Tower.
That opening in the last fight went about as well as it could for Tempo Storm. You shut down the tack visor, which was the major threat from Immortals. You hold on to your resurrection in case somehow they're able to battle back from the brink after the first 2 picks and make it look easy there to finish out the point. So Tempo Storm with some good patience, some good target selection. Here we go. Look at this one. So Too Easy later on just guarding the bridge.
Well,
like too interesting right there, but
all right, well, you know, Tracer shoots people. That's what we learned from that one.
Dashes forward, controls space.
Blinks around. Does she really? Does she control her own position in time, I think is the accurate description.
I'm sorry, though. She doesn't actually move in time. She only moves in space. The lore is a lie.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Nothing else is moving in time.
You want to break down the 4th dimension for us here? Time is a plane.
Is it?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. Here we go on to Night Market. Grim Reality trying to hold his own here. Drops on that biotic field. It's Tempo Storm that jumps onto the point early on. Immortals taking the offensive angle as Tempo Storm tries to take an early defense. Beast Halo waiting on the outside. I keep wanting to say Bistro, but maybe that's just because I'm hungry right now. One of the two. Immortals diving in now. We'll see what they can do. They waited until that point activated, and they are getting a lot of time on the control meter. Are they just going to take it? They do. Wow. Immortals just muscling their way in there and grabbing it, but can they hold on to it? Tempo Storm down their tank. JKW does take out the Winston on the other side too, and it looks like Tempo Storm might be able to come back and just reclaim this.
Yeah, it's all about delays now for Immortal. They muscled their way in and dared Tempo Storm to come through the chokes, but with Fate going down, made it easy for Tempo Storm to counter-engage onto the point and flip it after only 16%, and Dreamcasper already has a barrage up again.
I'm just amazed by how fast he can build this. I mean, yeah, I know he's being pocket boosted by the Mercy, like you see a lot of Pharahs, get, but he has really been hitting those rockets today.
He's taking the shots from the back too, getting what damage he can.
Yep.
Make it very difficult for the likes of Immortals to walk forward. They have to use the Transcendence.
That sound barrier on the Tempo Storm side. See if they can come back in. Barrage used, didn't really gain a whole lot from that as Hype takes down the Pharah. There's the self-destruct now. Cozy gets a res onto Dreamcasper, but can they utilize this? No, Grim Reality pops that tack visor, and they're going to be able to chase Tempo Storm out. Flip back for Immortals, and this is going to be a really close round.
Res
nice kill onto Too Easy there. That's a big one.
The res used just a little bit too early for Tempo Storm on the fight as we're looking here. Only picking up Dreamcasper, and with several members dying in the following few seconds, he had a good position to wait for that a little bit longer. Wasn't in too much of threat. Way in the back of the point there. Too Easy wants to get this pulse bomb, but he gets found.
Grim Reality, protector of the Zenyatas. Keeps his support alive. Going into the point now,
he was getting
Tempo Storm tries to flip it.
He got greedy for that. He wanted to not use the pulse bomb and just empty the clip into Zenyatta and kill him, and he paid for it with that Helix rocket.
And definitely. Primal Rage for Fate, keeping people off the point for the moment. There's the self-destruct. Not picking up a lot, but at least keeping Tempo Storm out of the point for the moment. Immortals, they do lose Grim Reality, so they're having a bit of a struggle holding on to this one. Cozy does go down, though, so that Mercy heal out of the way.
This is what it looks like when you don't have any DPS characters on the point.
Seriously. No, Lucio's a DPS character. I'm totally lying, but he used to be. Yeah, really beta, man.
A little bit awkward there. More tank and support war is happening, and now finally, Pharah and Too Easy on that Tracer getting back, and they're going to just snatch away the point control yet again. Eventually, they have to use the barrage to clear it out, and Fate even manages to pick up the kill on the backside.
Wow. All right, Dreamcasper. He ended up having to use his barrage in the end there, so maybe wanting to dedicate a bit too much to that take, or a bit more than they would have liked anyway. There's a pulse bomb.
Very
that works
nice.
well. Yeah, that's one way to get rid of the soldier.
Yeah, comes back, gets the kill onto the soldier before he can contribute to the fight, and there's another pulse bomb.
Nothing that time, though.
So they get Kareem eventually.
Yeah, enough damage done. Immortals having to fall back into the building, not able to really get to the point, and 60% or so built up for Tempo Storm, still catching up to Immortals.
Yeah,
I think this is smart for Immortals, so yeah, I mean, you don't need to be crazy right now. Go back, regroup. You've got the ult edge right now. As long as you prioritize him killing Cozy, avoid the res, you can probably take the point back and win this one.
Yeah, even if you don't prioritize killing Cozy, you have so many more ultimates, and you're about to hit 6 that you might be okay anyway.
Yeah, that's the hope anyway. So, Primal Rage used on the side of Tempo Storm. There's another self-destruct, but no kills. Well, JKW does get taken down by Hype, so there's one on the Immortal side.
Where's the res?
Yep. Cozy sneaking in. There's one. Can he get to him? Gets the double res. That is big. Hype takes out Cozy immediately, though, and Immortals still all over the payload right now. All over the point right now. Can they hold it? They're up to 99% on the Tempo Storm side. Immortals does need to flip it back, and it looks like they'll be able to do just that. Tempo Storm barely not holding on. Can they get back in time? Yes, they can, just barely.
Agilities with the mid-air pulse bomb connect onto the jumping Winston on the point, and he didn't have the Primal Rage to stay up, so Immortals will equalize on Lijiang Tower. Tempo Storm, Cozy not looking the most confident, or his positioning and his timing on his reses was not exactly ideal. Where his teammates were dying, took him a long time to get that res, only got 2 out of 3. And then the first res as well, a little bit too early. So we'll take a look at this. Agilities right here, just hitting that pulse bomb right as he came in. No Primal Rage, so 400 HP off the top of the Winston. Easy to finish him off once he lands.
Bad manner by JKW, man. You do not knock that basketball out of the way when somebody's setting up that shot. Does Tracer's Candy go through time as well?
No, she doesn't go through time at all, though. She only moves in space.
You sure about that?
Yes, I'm very sure.
Okay.
Very sure. Her rewind just moves her back in space, not back in time.
It'd be cool. Well, then why does she regain health, huh? Answer me that, Monte Cristo. Riddle me this, Monte Cristo.
I'm sorry, that's not how time works, except in this video game.
Well, tell that to Overwatch. Tempo Storm moving on to control center here. Asking the real questions, that's what we do.
Wow, Kareev with the early right-click pick onto Dream Casper.
Yeah, really aggressive start for Immortals. Agility's picking up a couple as well. And they are just forcing Tempo Storm all the way back to spawn.
Yeah, looks like Casper
They're going to take it.
Not playing with enough cover there. Headshots coming in from the Zenyatta, and his team pays for it. See how far they want to move forward. They don't have a huge crowd control composition here, so likely want to play with the platforms and the high ground in the main room instead. Coming in. A little bit on the cautious side. You got to be careful, though. And Immortals trying to defend this as best they can as Tempo Storm tries to flip it. Immortals does pull back. Ooh, Grim with a kill on the Cozy. Tracer got into the back line, and that is not great if you're Tempo Storm. I mean, Immortals, you know, classic divide and conquer there, right? Nobody was there to stop Tracer from getting into the back lines, and Grim Reality kind of got the ball rolling, and the rest of the team picked up the slack. Well, Tig went too far forward, and that led to this situation where you have Fate and Grim Reality working together to just clear out that back line very quickly. You can't get spread out. The entire idea of Immortals is they want you to come into the point and then cut you off, cut your straggling members off on the backside. Sure. Looks like they did manage to get the Transcendence out of Kareev. I don't know if that was maybe the best advised ultimate there. They have kind of already won the fight, so they may come to regret that one a little bit later. They've got the sound barrier soon, but that's a risk. I mean, they still have a 30% sound barrier advantage, so yes, while it wasn't the best ultimate advantage, they're still going to be okay when it comes to defensive support ults. Whoa. That was tricky from Casper, but Grim Reality quick on the rewind. Well, Grim Reality has just been really on fire this round, so they are hunting him, no doubt. Kareev does go down. He didn't have his ult, so it's not the biggest loss right now. See what Grim can get. Looks like Tempo Storm trying to flip the point. They've got taken a few others on the point. There's the sound barrier for Immortals. Self-destruct comes in. Transcendence now on the Tempo Storm side, but nobody really there to help capitalize as the fight just kind of moved off the point for the moment. Tig gets Verbo, gets another one as well. With the ults, with the dashes, Immortals having to fall back. They're up to 97. They're going to be at 99% though. So even if Tempo Storm claims this point, Immortals still in a pretty good position to come back and grab this one. Yeah, Agilities didn't get anything done with the Dragon Blade though, and Immortals I think could have gotten to that 99% and held a few punches back and waited for their next engage, as we see Tig here winning that Genji battle up in the air above the central point. And Too still looking to get some of these Tracer duels, some initial damage onto Grim Reality, and Immortals going to be coming through. Pulse Bomb didn't get what he was looking for. Too Easy has the sound barrier now, and he does take out Kareev. Good start for Tempo Storm. Another Pulse Bomb coming in. Oh, but unfortunately for Grim Reality, he ate that one himself as well as he took out Dream Casper. Tempo Storm still winning the fight in the end, but they have still got a long way to go. Unfortunately for Immortals, though, they used a couple ults there, so it's going to take even longer to kind of build up to that big push that they need. I mean, you don't really care about the Pulse Bomb there because Tracer can generate 2 ults for every 1 ult of her teammates in this particular instance. Every Pulse Bomb is precious, Monte Cristo. It is. He at least got something for it, including himself, so. There you go. But they didn't actually generate much charge other than that, and this is going to have to be Immortals poking. They need to look to generate ult charge right now, and they're going to get some with early kills. Yeah, great start. They just take the fight to Tempo Storm instead, coming at an angle they may not have been expecting as much. Trying to flip that point back, they do. It's OT, and Tempo Storm needs to get somebody there to stop this. Trying to do just that, but they can't get there in time. So close for Tig, but he couldn't get there, and Immortals jump out to a 2-1 lead. If they win the next round, they're just going to 2-0 in this match. It'd be quite surprising considering Tempo Storm's recent results and the addition of a veteran player like Too Easy. Well, this has been great, man. This has been an action-packed round, so I kind of hope we get to see a third map. I'm being a little bit selfish there, but watching these teams is fun. Well, we are going to see Casper look like return to the Pharah, where Tempo Storm saw success on Gardens earlier, and Immortals Agility is thinking about mirroring that pick. They will not be playing a Mercy.
Well, you can run that solo Pharah. It depends on, really who's on the other team and what they have to kind of handle it. No Soldier on the Tempo Storm side, and maybe that's the thing. Maybe because they're expecting Tempo Storm to run that pharmacy, they think they can just run the Pharah without the Mercy, without a lot of, worries. We'll see how it works.
Quite possibly. Immortals also sacrificing the Soldier to deal with that Pharah instead, but Agilities is pushing them back off. Pharah duels in midair, about the only thing that's going to take them out. There is no Mercy.
Nice midair shot from Agilities.
Yeah, Mercy had already been taken out, so no one to heal the Pharah up on the side of Tempo Storm.
Yeah.
And now the point flip going to come through quite quickly, and Immortals jumping out to the lead. Cozy caught early. And
Winston just continues to spray that Overwatch icon to remind him of how much he misses Overwatch.
Is that it?
I think that's it.
Well, he already recalled everybody, so.
I think that's the reason, yeah. But now they're all trying to kill him, so.
Yeah,
Winston's having a rough time. That's what I'm trying to say here. Tempo Storm having a bit of a rough time, too, but they're going to try to change their fortunes right now. Ooh, Kareev taken down. Finishing blow delivered by Dreamcasper, and they're in a good spot to maybe flip this point. We'll see if they can get over the bridge. Fate goes down as well. Casper's starting to kind of go off on this Pharah. Trying anyway. Has that Mercy boost. Good start. Immortals starting to get their respawns back there again, though. It wasn't the fastest push, but Tempo Storm keeps grinding through the members of Immortal Zone. They finally look like they're probably going to be able to flip the point.
Yeah, the issue is that when Agilities dies first, or rather, when Kareev dies first on that Zenyatta,
and we got Verbo.
And the Pharah goes down early, they really have no tools left to knock the Pharah out of the sky. And even if you're having a Pharah versus Pharah battle, as long as the Mercy's up instead of the Zenyatta, you're not getting the damage boost from the Orb of Reductions, or the Orb of Discord. So you're basically fighting at a total damage disadvantage, Pharah for Pharah. And the entire team is basically going to melt significantly faster.
Let's see if they can pick up anything with the self-destruct. I think that went down in the pit accidentally, so that didn't get a whole lot. Agilities does get the kill on Too Easy, though. So they're trying to flip it back. Self-destruct thrown in there by Immortals. Oh, he manages to pick up Tig. Great angle thrown in. There's a res immediately, though, for Cozy. And Tempo Storm, with that sound barrier, maybe has what it takes to hold on to this one. They're trying anyway. That was so close.
That sound barrier by JKW was completely unnecessary. The self-destruct had come through, but there wasn't really anything left to pick off on the point, because Cozy had the res, and then we saw Hype die immediately thereafter, so no more attack, but there's another
free
one.
Kill on Agilities, just those long-range powered-up rockets. Gotta watch out for those.
Immortals is playing with fire a bit here. They were beaten by the Pharah on this point earlier.
There's the switch.
And now they're finally going to take the switch.
Yeah,
Genji, not really the best for dealing with this, but maybe if you can build up to the Dragon Blade and see Cozy come in, gets the res here. Okay, but why the sound barrier came in immediately thereafter is a bit of a mystery.
Yeah, I mean, they were expecting more of a commitment from Immortals, I guess, and now the commitment comes. Both defensive ultimates actually used by Immortals as they come in. Mercy goes down early, so at least they've got the man advantage. Hype grabs two, in fact, and there's a barrage for Casper, not really getting a whole lot done with it, though. And Immortals in prime position to flip this point back if they can deal with the last members of Tempo Storm. And it looks like they can. They are going to flip it. 99% though for Tempo Storm. So if they can get the point back, they're still going to be in good position to tie up Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, sure are. Cozy getting uncomfortably close to the resurrection as well. So Immortals have to hold strong here for quite some time. Agilities looking to get his ult up relatively soon. We'll see if he can hit any meaningful poke and try and get that, because if he can get it before Cozy can get the res, take her out, they may have an opportunity to win.
Yep. Here we go again. Tempo Storm trying to edge their way in there. Grim Reality looking for some damage on the outside. Doesn't quite have that pulse bomb built up yet, but you can see him harassing the back line. They pop Tig out of the mech, which is actually pretty huge. Gets that. Kills on both sides coming in, though. And right now, Dreamcasper still untouched. Self-destruct comes in again. No kills this time around, though, for Hype. And Dreamcasper takes down Verbo, so it looks like they will be able to flip it back. Potentially. Very close. Breaking it down, maybe just the thing they need. Oh, Fate actually died to the self-destruct too from Tig. They still haven't taken the point just yet, though. It's so close. Now they grab it. It does flip back, but it's 99 to 99 right now. And Immortals storming back in. They're winning the fight for the moment. Got to take out that annoying Lucio, though. He's keeping the point from flipping. That is so irritating. Transcendence used. Okay, interesting. They do finally get the Lucio. JKW goes down and they can finally start claiming it, but there's going to be respawns coming in. Can they get there in time? No, not quite. Overtime ticking away. Immortals looking to win the match right here, right now, but Tempo Storm trying to hold on, trying to reflip it, but there's a sound barrier. Correa picking up another bloodthirsty support kill, and Immortals, it's ticking away so fast, they get it. They're going to win Lijiang Tower, and Immortals will 2-0 Tempo Storm.
Casper was so close to being the